This news bulletin centres on the critical information regarding changes to the law and opening regulations for the high-risk zones of Thailand, and specifically to our own province, as announced late last evening. The content has been verified and may be amended during the course of the day. And the CCSA this morning has released figures nationwide of 11,305 new confirmed cases, with 18 new deaths exacerbated by the virus. At 7 this morning, Chonburi province released figures just for our own region, showing 537 new spotted cases. 193 in our own area of Banglamung, which includes Pattaya, 88 in Chonburi city, and 137 in Sriracha. As of 11 in the evening last night, new regulations and orders of closure were effected for our province of Chonburi. All go into effect today as in Tuesday, and they've been issued by the Provincial Governor's Office. The new regulations are open-ended in that they have no end date and are now essentially law, in that violation of these rules could see arrests and fines. A strict and regulated curfew goes into effect as of today from 9 in the evening through to 4 in the morning, with businesses which are allowed to open ordered to close by 8 to allow staff and customers to be in their homes by 9. Violation of the curfew is prohibited by law, and anyone leaving their home without a genuine reason, such as emergency medical needs or proof of work travel, faces either fines or jail. Certainly you can expect to be taken to a police station and detained, which is certainly not the most desirable place to be. During daylight hours, all residents that are Thai and non-Thai are required to remain in their homes unless going to work, shopping for food, or of need of medical services or exercise. This is what you might deem as a very serious request, in that there is no announced penalty for those who do go out. However, you can expect to be questioned at any time or stopped at road checks to establish your reason for being out and about. Roadblocks and checks will be established around the province, both internally and at the border with other regions. Travel within the province doesn't require a permit. Leaving the province, even for travel to neighbouring high-risk provinces, does require documentation to show, as an example, a medical appointment, a flight ticket, or a proof of need to travel for work, and there'll be very few exceptions to this regulation. As everyone is encouraged to work from home wherever possible, so a new list prohibiting most types of retail business has been released and goes into effect today. In addition to those businesses which retail alcohol, clubs, pubs and similar, along with cinemas and theatres, bowling rinks, snooker halls, schools of any type except for online teaching, and arcades, which have been closed for several months already, the new list includes nurseries and elderly care centres unless residential, amulet markets, all types of massage shop from the health spas to those on back streets, tattoo shops, gyms, fitness centres, salons, which we assume to include barbers, indoor sports arenas and retail goods stores, along with eateries of any description unless selling food for takeaway only. Food cannot be consumed on premises. We've received reports of beaches being closed within the province, and that decision will have been taken by individual municipalities and is not reflected in the provincial order. However, orders from municipalities, over and above those of the state or the province, offer equal power to the police to enforce. So you may well ask, what can open? That's an easier list to follow. Between 4 in the morning and 8 in the evening only, the following types of retail businesses can remain open: convenience stores, supermarkets for food only, pharmacies, telephone shops, hardware stores, swimming pools, water parks, food markets, food vendors selling for takeaway, banks and financial services, petrol stations, and any business retailing essential goods, along with public parks and vaccination points. Essential services such as medical centres and hospitals can of course remain open 24/7. Business operators who are not sure if they're allowed to open are advised to call the number 13 837 on their phones for a direct link to the advisory service, which is likely only available in Thai language. In national news, a blanket ban on domestic flights in and out of Bangkok's 2 airports has been implemented until August the 2nd, allowing only flights to Phuket for the Sandbox program and essential supply flights. But we do need to emphasise that this does not affect international flights. The transport company has halted all southern routes from the capital for buses and reduced the number of routes open for passengers to the north, with just 5 to the northeast and 3 to the north. Trains to Chiang Mai, Katang, Nakhon Si Thammarat, Nong Khai and Ubon Ratchathani have been cancelled until August the 2nd, along with a selection of some 20 local routes. The Department of Disease Control insists that it has plentiful supplies to cope with its goal of 10 million vaccinations a month in the capital and surrounding provinces. And according to them, they plan to add all high-risk provinces to the list of prioritised zones. We now go briefly to the CCSA press meeting of yesterday and an abridged version of the highlights of that presentation.
Thai health authorities are stepping up efforts to secure more vaccines to fight this latest outbreak. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in cooperation with the Ministry of Public Health, will be opening within this month an online platform for registration for expats wishing to be vaccinated. And the details of this particular platform will be announced in due course. Allow me now to turn your attention to the reports of the new confirmed cases today. We have active cases now standing at 122,097 cases. New recoveries have been reported today to stand at 5,741. Should you need to travel across dark red zones for any essential reason, you will need to make a request to seek prior approval. Other than that, you should remain at home. So if you are living in the dark red zone, or if you're outside the dark red zone and you wish to travel to the dark red zone, please reconsider. Both the private sector and government sector are encouraged to work from home 100% of the time or at maximum capacity. Large gatherings are to be avoided of 5 persons and above. Approval must be sought before you organize any gatherings. And the public is advised to follow provincial specific measures. So you must stay tuned to listen to what your province will announce, what specific measures are to be implemented.
Phuket has implemented new regulations for domestic visitors. Those arriving from within Thailand and not part of the Sandbox program, as of now, will have to have proof of having received both doses of vaccines on or before the 14th day before arrival, and also have a negative test, either an RT, PCR or rapid antigen, taken within the most recent 7 days before arrival. Students under the age of 18 who can't currently have inoculation will need proof of travel to an educational establishment and will be COVID tested before being allowed to enter. Pretty rotten news in all, but the good news is that supplies of all forms of foodstuff and fuel is unrestricted nationwide. Suppliers have ample stocks and deliveries are unimpeded. Yesterday saw a rush to some stores in many areas of the country, which is futile, as within hours stocks are replenished. Having a good supply of food and water in your home is of course vital, but a year's supply of eggs and toilet paper won't see you any better off than the rest of us. And with the Met Office promising highs today of 31 dropping down to 27 and rain at any time. Local and national news today from Fabulous 103 FM and Fabulous Pattaya Media Group. And to get a notification every time we release another bulletin or program, like and subscribe to our channel, Fabulous Pattaya Media Group, by using the link below.